Everybody, let's give it up for Grace and Abby.
Yeah. This is so exciting. First of all, can we all remark on how beautiful Abby looks right now? Because
Thank you.
It's too much. I wore a hooded zip-up hoodie with like deodorant smeared inside of it to make it smell better. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
powerful.
It's it's trying.
I think that the statement on your T-shirt though is really powerful.
Thank you. Insert your fries here. Yeah, it
hits me on a very spiritual level.
Yeah, it means a lot, but no one actually touched me. Thanks. Now let's talk about this book. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
You wrote a book called This May Sound Crazy.
It may.
It may sound crazy.
May. I was working on that for like so long about like, is it may or might? Like, what is grammatically correct? And then I was like, nothing in my book is grammatically correct, so what does it even matter?
Okay, so how do you describe the book? How would you describe it to someone that had absolutely no idea? Perfect.
This emoji?
Oh, really? Like praise emoji?
The praise emoji. No, I guess it's just like basically my 4 a.m. inner thoughts and ramblings, and kind of just like, I actually would write it when I was getting like really anxious about certain things going on in my life. Like if a guy wasn't texting me back, I was like, you know what, you're getting a chapter. Yeah, it was one of those things, and they were just like, I actually said it to somebody once. I was like, you know, you have a chapter? Blam. And they were just like...
It's a new way of dropping the mic.
yeah, pretty much. I just didn't want to drop it because I don't know how expensive it is. But I was like, and he was just like, okay, thank you. I was like, no, not thank you.
It seems like writing a book is very, very difficult. Can you talk about what was the hardest part for you?
Yeah, see, I started a Tumblr blog when I was like 16, and I started it basically because I just wanted to be able to talk about my life when my friends weren't listening to me anymore.
Yeah.
And
how many people out there have a Tumblr? Yeah.
Yes.
So they relate. They relate.
Yes.
Also, yes.
Message me.
Yeah.
We can like talk about life together. Or don't. That's creepy. I was like really into blogging and everything, and then I got a call asking if I would want to write a book from a book agent, Kate, who's here somewhere. And yeah, I was like, yeah, this is great. I'm just going to be like writing like my blog and everything. And then I wrote it, and I finished all of the chapters, and I got an email from my editor because I was like, I finished my book. It's great. It's done. And he was just like, so you're going to get notes? And I was like, oh, really? Like, you're going to critique this? So that was probably the hardest part, was just going through and trying to figure out how to like change things that needed to be changed, and I didn't realize that I had as many as I did because I didn't like click on the download document. Like, is there a better way to say feeling? Because you said feeling 8 times in this sentence, and I'm like, no, there's no other way for me to describe my feelings.
I have all the feels.
I have so many feels right now. No, that, and also just trying to like, there would be nights when I'd write something and then I'd look back at it the next day and I'm like, is this too revealing about my life? Like, is this too...
Well, that's my next question, is that the book is a lot like Tumblr, where it's just very unfiltered. Mm-hmm. So did you have certain things that you really wanted to put in the book, but then thought otherwise after the fact that, you know, this might be too much?
Yeah, there was one night when I was writing a chapter, sobbing, just like...
Classic.
I hate you. Yeah, always crying all the time. And just like, and then I was like, send. And then I was like, no, you know what? I probably shouldn't have sent that. But also, I want it to be personal enough that like people can actually relate to it and feel like I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the beauty of Tumblr, is that it's very, very authentic. It's very honest. Mm-hmm. And I think you did a great job of like translating your Tumblr to a book form. How did you decide on what you wanted to include? All the good things that you wanted to talk about?
It changed a lot throughout writing it. Certain things that were relevant to me like 8 months ago are not relevant anymore to me. But I definitely wanted to talk about Christmas because that's like a main thing in my life.
Christmas.
I love Christmas. Christmas is my life.
Just tangential, how did Christmas become such a huge thing in your life? You eat bagels on Christmas morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, when's a bad time to eat bagels is really the
trust
question. And if you can eat them on Christmas, then why don't you? No, I basically, I've always loved Christmas, but I think what made me really love Christmas was when I was like 14, my brothers both moved out of our home, which at first was like, yes, bigger room. And then was like, oh, it's kind of like lonely-ish, like not having them. So they were coming back for Christmas, and so that was kind of the time when we would all be together, and it's really lame. It sounds really lame. And now I'm like,
sweet.
Now I'm like, yay, you're home. Can you go, please? But no, so that's why I started to really like it. And I also just love Christmas movies like The Family Stone and Christmas with the Cranks and like A Christmas Carol. Stuff like that is like so good. And I also like, we just eat bagels. I don't know why. There's no reason.
I mean, do you do any sort of other family traditions on Christmas? Or do you remember like the greatest Christmas gift you've ever received?
Oh, well, this past Christmas I got a kitten.
All of us are like, an animal.
And he's, my vet said to me when I brought him in, because you have to bring them in and get them like,
oh right, because you have to keep them alive.
You have to keep them alive.
Yeah.
So I brought him in, and we discovered that he actually has 7 toes on one foot and 6 on the other. But his motto in life is, it's better to have a toe and not need it than to need one and not have one.
What?
Just saying.
That's
Thank
what
you.
a great.
I know,
your cat is
it's a power statement.
Wow. Wait, what is your cat's name?
Gizmo.
Gizmo.
And he also has no tail. So my vet says that he's like not really a cat, he's a creature.
What?
So,
yeah, this is like from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. What is this thing?
He's actually so weird that like he only sleeps in the bathroom.
I know that game.
Yes. And he only sleeps in the sink. So he like crawls in to the sink, and he's like got this weird eye that like doesn't open all the way. And he like looks kind of like scraggly and like he's gonna eat you, and then he just like pulls the towel off of the towel rack and like lies it down in the sink and then like curls up in it and licks the faucet when he wants water, like the little drops that keep coming out.
So you basically got like hobo cat.
We call him the dumpster cat. He's a dumpster creature.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and he hates me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He's really like confusing. Like some days he'll be like rubbing his head on me and like hugging me, and then other days he's like hissing at me and like ignoring me, and I'm like,
so he's like a lady.
So it's kind of like my relationship with guys in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Now, because you love Tumblr so much, and because you've been involved in like movies and that sort of thing, that whole world for a long time, have you had any kind of weird or unique fan experiences through Tumblr, through social media?
I've had just like bizarre questions that are.
Oh, we're gonna
really
get to some in a little bit.
Whoa. I get messages sometimes that like seem so urgent. It's like, cinnamon gum or spearmint gum, I'm online now, help. Cinnamon, I don't know why, but I don't even like cinnamon, but cinnamon, I guess, I don't know.
The spearmint's been taken.
Yeah, and then they're just like, LOL, it's cool, I already got the spearmint. And I'm like, okay.
But you tried.
Or like winter mint, and I'm like, you didn't even tell me there was winter mint. Obviously winter mint, always winter mint.
Now, you're an actress, a singer, a writer. You wear a lot of hats. How do you balance all of these creative endeavors?
I literally thought that you were just saying that I wear a lot of hats, like,
oh yeah, you
in
also,
terms of like,
you're
and
an
I was
actress, a singer,
I'm sorry?
a writer, a hat wearer. You wear a lot of hats.
Pepperly beanies. It's one of those things where like I love what I do, so I feel like it's not even working for me, which is nice to be able to say. It's kind of one of those things where it's like I just have a lot of emotions and I need to get them out in every possible platform available, like to a random stranger on the street, anybody.
You give really great advice to young women. I wonder what's the best and worst, or one or the other, piece of advice that you've ever gotten.
Probably my favorite advice I've ever gotten ever in life was my cousin Bethany and Ashley, who they're like 13 now, I guess, but when they were like 10, they said to me, "You get what you get, and you don't get upset."
My mom says that.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
though,
a
right?
great piece of advice. Now, you're born and raised in New York City. I have to ask you all of your bests of New York City. First of all, best pizza.
Mariella's 16th and 3rd.
Oh, okay. Write it down, y'all. Best bagel.
Oh, Bagels on the Square. It's like on like 6th Avenue, like off of like 6th and like Bleecker on the corner.
Very cool. Best restaurant.
Probably best restaurant, I would say, you know what? I'm going to have to go with Shun Li, like for Chinese food.
Oh. I have to ask best club.
Club? Well, I'm 19. So my best friend Noel's apartment, we have this like, this is so sad actually. We did this the other night and this is really sad. I wanted to Snapchat somebody in particular that looked like I was having a really good time. And I did not look particularly good at the moment. So I was like, oh, I'll just Snapchat like the atmosphere. And she's like, we're in my living room, Abby. Like, this is not gonna look good at all. But she has this like speaker that also does like strobe lights. And like we blasted like music and we actually called like, asked like one of her neighbors to like come in and like be like, yeah, whoa, whoa. And I Snapchatted it like shaking it everywhere.
That's the end of my questions. We have some questions from Tumblr itself, and these are where it gets real. First of all, what impact do you hope your book will have on young women?
Honestly, I just want for people to read the book and feel like, yes, oh my God, this is exactly how I feel.
What is your opinion/view on cuddling?
Cuddling with my cat, I really enjoy thoroughly on the days when he's like into me.
I swear this question did not come from me, but favorite dog Instagram account?
Marnie.
Oh, you just met Marnie.
I met Marnie, yes.
And I was so incredibly jealous. What is that dog like?
It almost brought like tears to my eyes a little bit. Like she was so like there spiritually with me. Like we connected and we had a moment. And I looked at her and I was just like, you're a beautiful princess. And the owner was just like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And I was like, no, it was private.
I just think this is really interesting. Favorite movie that you have been in and why?
Ooh. I did this movie, Maggie, and it's out now, and it's with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was just really fun because I got to look like a zombie, and it was like crazy eye makeup and crazy stuff like that. And also just I really loved the movie and the whole casting crew and everything. So that was super fun.
There you go. I mean, you nailed it. Okay, now we're going to get into some questions from you guys. Yeah, it's happening to you and us. Okay. Oh, well, this is quite interesting. Nina S. wants to know, would you rather fight one giant Grace Helbig or 50 tiny Graces?
Oh my God. Whoa. Okay, but when
Yeah.
we're talking tiny, I'm going to need to know scale-wise what we're talking about. That tiny?
Nina S., how tiny is tiny? Okay,
Like
so
that?
that's like, like 8 inches high.
Yeah, then definitely the little ones. Because I wear really, really high heels, and
Yeah.
I don't want to be aggressive about this or violent, but I could just like...
And yeah, and I get very distracted easily. So I think like 48 of us would probably
just,
like
talking
try,
and, like-
then like we get really distracted by
But
something.
I would not fight you.
Thank you. I probably wouldn't fight you either. I would be like, psych, never mind. What's up? Cool eyeshadow.
Thank you. That would be really nice. I'd be like, wait, can I actually put fries in your shirt, or is that just like a thing?
Yeah, all 50 of us would be like, yes. If you could star in an adaptation of any book, what book would it be and what character would you choose to play? P.S. Zombieland was awesome.
Thank you.
That's from Rudy.
Rudy?
Yeah.
Rudy. Thanks, Rudy. Oh, hey. Thanks, Rudy. What's up, Rudy? Does anybody love Goosebumps?
Oh.
Carly Beth, The Haunted Mask.
Yes.
I used to actually ask my mom to call me Carly Beth when I was like 4.
Rebecca O'Neill wants to know, do you have any advice for people who want to write a book?
I wrote this book in like the most unorthodox way. I wrote most of it on my iPhone because
Very progressive of
my
you.
computer broke and like I just had to take it into the store like a million times, and I went in and I was just like, I'm trying to write a book and I can't, so I'm going to have to, do you know how hard it is to write it on an iPhone? He was just like, you seem like you're really sad. And I'm like, yeah.
There's this running theme of you being sad and people comforting you in your life.
I actually had somebody one time, I was like crying in Starbucks one day because
I want now.
I have happy times too.
That's the second book. I have happy times too.
But I was crying and I was sad. And then this girl was like, do you want a free cake pop? And I was like, I'm allergic to gluten. No, I don't want a free cake pop. But do you have the birthday cake one? Because if you do, I'll still take that one. Thank you. But my advice would just be like, make sure it's something that make sure you're writing about things that you really like talking about and that you feel really passionate about, because there are times when I was like, thought this something would be a good idea, but I wasn't feeling it. And then you just end up frying out your brain. So it's better to just cut things and like put things aside and write about what you truly want to talk about, because you're always going to get better material that way.
Yeah, because this is based off of your Tumblr, and your Tumblr was started out of like just genuine wanting to put your feelings out there.
And genuinely be like, tell me I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite part of the book?
There's a chapter called How Not to Flirt, a tutorial on giving off the nah vibe by me.
Okay, this is our last question. I think this is a really good question. Do you have any advice for young women struggling to love themselves and how they look?
I think that's something that we all kind of go through.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, we all have our days where we're like, like the other day I literally said, like, my face, my makeup, I just want to rip off my face and restart from birth.
I say that I look like a potato. No, sometimes. I love potatoes. They make French fries.
If you were a potato, you would be like In-N-Out fries.
Wow, that's really sweet. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a great Valentine's Day card.
Oh my God, yes, let's do it. Trademark, I'm coining that. It's important to try and do things on those days that aren't about how you look. Like when I feel bad about myself and I have like a zit that I'm harvesting. Also, probably shouldn't say that to a guy. I learned that a couple weeks ago. I try and like write something or write a new song or, work on a chapter or do something that I can feel proud of that has nothing to do with how I look.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think that's great advice. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Make sure you guys all pre-order the book October 6th, right?
Yes, please do.
And follow the social media, especially that Gizmo cat.
At No Tail, No Prob.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
BookCon.